Okay. It's been, what's that? Oh, that's OBS. No, it's not. I'm losing my mind. Alrighty. Unlike the last time I made a game where I took the 2 month break, this time I decided to jump right back into the art after just a week or so from Alone in the Tall Grass. Just to be clear, this graph is comparing my breaks between them and not how long the actual games took. So I took a long time until I did this. Like all summer took me to this just because I started a few projects and dropped them. I didn't really care for game development that much. And then this one was a little bit quicker than the break for this, but still kind of slow. So to see me hopping right back into it after only 2 weeks, that was good. Like this game beneficial to my career. Good thing that I'm doing that. But I didn't have any good ideas for the game. Okay, no, wait. That's a bad way to put it. More like I had a lot of ideas, but they were all out of my comfort range on stuff I knew how to do because I didn't know how to implement most of the mechanics that I like in those games that I want to do. And a ton of my ideas are actually multiplayer based games, but obviously I can't make something that requires a lot of players when I have no fan base. So I gotta stick with single player stuff for now. What I'm trying to say is this game doesn't have a story and its world building is static. I just wanted to make it to practice mechanics that I was unfamiliar with. Albeit two of these main mechanics are not my own, and I want to give my thanks to Reed's channel for their Tetris inventory tutorials, as it is my desire to implement this type of system into one of my like dream games, my like top three that I'm saving until like I have a few years of experience before I try and commit to. Um, where was I? And getting practice with it now surely made it easier later on. And Reed or Ree or however you say that guy, he has an amazingly simple tutorial on procedurally generated dungeons that I feel I've surely learned from and will certainly be using again. Like this guy is amazing. Like all you need pretty much is this first one. So if you have 2 hours to yourself and you want to feel like a programming god, this guy like he's amazing. He helps you out a lot. Anywho, all this build up is for me to talk about the game I made, the Maze of Mouths, for a bit, where I use those YouTuber systems and a simple hunger system of my own to make a time-sensitive maze-solving game. But I didn't want to just follow tutorials and uh, give up after that, so I experimented a little bit. First, with the inventory system, I tried dynamically changing the size of the inventory component widget while playing the game, which sounds easy at first, but for a while there was a bug where items would stack on the same tiles wherever the space was increased. And sometimes the areas an apple would move one tile to the left, meaning that an apple wouldn't always fit on the screen, which was kind of annoying. The only way I managed to solve this was dropping the inventory to clear it, then remaking the new inventory that has nothing in it. Like, okay, I drop the inventory and then delete the old inventory and then remake the inventory with the new size and then picking the items back up manually, which is just it was the best I could do. Another system I tried implementing was saving the items between levels, but for one reason or another, that wasn't happening. After like 6 to 8 hours of work on it, I realized I was doing too much for what it was, and the player would just have to make do. It removes a lot of strategy from the game not being able to save items, but so be it. Once again, this project is a bad show of my creativity, and I really don't want to put more work into it than I need to. Well, I guess I don't need to put any, but like I wanted this on my portfolio, but I didn't want it to be one of the big things, even though this is probably one of my longer projects. And then next I worked on the procedural dungeon, where the main issue was finding a copyable pattern. The cubes in the tutorial are like infinitely easier to make do with than the organic shapes I went with. Not to downplay the tutorial though, like it's just Ree was showing off more of a blueprint based info, not the art side of things. I digress. I did shortly find a style that worked for what I wanted and was able to repeat it. Next thing outside of this tutorial for this mechanic that I did to keep everything working was just creating larger rooms in general, like how this thing right here is a room, but then this big old rectangle is a single room too. And like this path here is a single room, just patterns of rooms that were singular, that were unique, but like bigger than the tutorial made. It's simple stuff. Like I'm overhyping it for what it is. And then the final thing I did was adding this tutorial with my little item system of having different fruits, needles, and salamanders, and even lights for items that could spawn in random locations in each dungeon, making each run feel especially unique. And having the items from the inventory system mix so well with the dungeon was just, mwah, amazing. I guess the final thing outside of my comfort zone I did was playing around on beatbox a little bit, making a little tune that plays in the background. And no, I'm no Toby Fox. Like I love that guy. Toby Fox is amazing. I shouldn't. I'll start ranting on him if I keep going. But this is my first game related musical number, so that's pretty cool. I don't think it's the worst thing to listen to in the world. It ain't good either, but the practice was nice. I plan to do a little musical study either next spring or next fall in my college career, so I'll hopefully improve from here. Anywho, that was it. I hope I remember to show pictures in my slides during this talk because I've come to realize I've only really spoke on the mechanics, not much on the game itself, but whatevs. I've already spent like a good 40 minutes working on the slides and the little summary of a script I wanted to read. And it'll probably be another 30 minutes before I edit and release the vid. And I have an essay due tomorrow, so that's going to be all for today. If I remember, I'll link the game in the description, and you should totes check it out if you have a spare 30 minutes.